Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Rev Sally Fritshe, and I am delighted to serve as minister to this congregation here on the treaty land of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. It's wonderful to be here with all of you. Many thanks to the musicians of our spirit band who provided our gathering music and who'll be playing with us and for us throughout the service today. For those gathering in person, please remember to be aware of the various needs and boundaries of one another while we're gathered together, including honoring our mask-required seating area and keeping aisles clear for mobility devices and taking photos only with express permission. Our services usually go about 90 minutes, so if there's anything you need to make yourself comfortable during that time, please feel free to move, stretch, fidget, spend time in our wiggle room where there's a comfy couch and some toys, or at our activity table where there's art supplies and fidgets, as well as cozy blankets for anyone to borrow. If you're new and would like us to keep in touch, be sure to fill out a newcomer card, which you can find in the back of the chair in front of you, and leave that in the offering plate when we pass it around later in the service. You may notice a couple of other things in your seat this morning. This Sunday, we are kicking off a pledge campaign, inviting our members and friends to participate in a collective commitment to sustaining the work and life of this community. We will get to that later in the service, and know that whoever you are, whether this is your first Sunday here or you've been here since neighborhood's very first days, whatever your relationship to religion, spirituality, to this place, we are glad that you are part of it. Let's take a moment to remember that we're part of it together, and turn to greet those around us with a good morning, a smile, a wave, a handshake, and remember to also wave up at the camera for those on Zoom or watching later on YouTube.
Whomever you love, whomever you love, we welcome you.
Once again, welcome, welcome. And I am joined today in weaving this service by our service weaver, Debb Bertazzon.
Thank you, Sally, and good morning, beautiful people. I always like taking just a second to actually, it's not good with reading glasses on, but to look around and see who the hardy Unitarians are, right? Who brave the cold. And like the spirit band, they had to come even earlier to set up. And Carlos, right, happily opens the joint up. He's back there going, I didn't say happily. Yeah. Oh dear. So here we are. And here I am standing before you on the land where this congregational building sits, recognizing that I am an uninvited guest. And I acknowledge that the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nations are the treaty holders of this land, and that the Wendat, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, lived here before me and are living here now together with First Nations, Métis, and Inuit people. I'm also mindful of those who came here involuntarily, particularly those brought from lands as a result of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery. The city was built on stolen land and stolen labor of Black, Indigenous, and racialized people. Finally, what we now refer to as Canada was built on the labor of many immigrant and migrant communities, from the Transcontinental Railroad to farming and food production. The country heavily relied and continues to rely on the talent, skill, and hard work of racialized people. In exchange, many of them are denied residence, and they continue to go through punishing immigrant experiences and perpetuating racial disparities. So let us all work to make right with all of our relations by telling the truth of this place. So together, with past, present, and future in mind, let's co-create and enter into our closed circle of sacred space. And to do that, please join me in either reciting or listening to our collective invocation. Let us cast a circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast a circle of a cherished space here. A space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life. A life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. And this morning, our chalice will be lit by our fundraising coordinator, Lillian Onido. Lillian will draw from the flame already burning in the children's chalice. The flame from the children's chalice reminds us of many things, including that we're all lifelong learners. Unfortunately, those of us my age, and well, as we age, we also have to commit to unlearning. And that's one of the reasons why we use the children's chalice as our initial source flame. So let's all join together and sing in our chalice lighting song.
Thanks, Deb. I invite the Spirit Band up to get set up for our centering music, which you heard last week, and you're going to hear it again today, which is Start From Your Corner, a song I wrote. And I thought today I would just give a little background of where the song originated from. It's basically like 4 quotes, 4 readings, passages that I read in the last year, and those 4 ideas were kind of the seeds that the song grew out of. So I thought I'd share those readings with you this morning. The one is from Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from his speech at UU Reverend James Reeb's funeral, which Rev Sally introduced me to in the Lectio Divino. So in his death, James Reeb says something to each of us, black and white alike. Says that we must substitute courage for caution, says to us that we must be concerned not merely about who murdered him, but about the system, the way of life, the philosophy which produced that murder. And from Fannie Lou Hamer at her speech at the National Women's Political Caucus in 1971 in Washington. Now, we've got to have some changes in this country, and not only changes for the black man and only changes for the black woman, but the changes we have to have in this country are going to be for liberation of all people, because nobody's free until everybody's free. And next slide, please. And then from UU, Reverend Theodore Parker from his 1852 sermon entitled Justice and Conscience. I do not pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one. My eye reaches but little ways. I cannot calculate the curve and complete the figure by experience of sight. I can divine it by conscience, and from what I see, I am sure it bends towards justice. And I don't know much about Ursula Wolf-Roca. I just saw this quote in an Instagram post, and it moved me, which is, it can be overwhelming to witness, experience, take in all the injustices of the moment. The good news is that they're all connected. So if your little corner of work involves pulling at one of the threads, you're helping to unravel the whole damn cloth. You're welcome to join us in the chorus, in the refrain that happens later, and choristers, I know we just sang this, you're welcome to join us the whole time through if you'd like. Just give me 1 second, Sean. Okay. And a walk.
Nobody is free until everybody is free. Nobody is free until everybody is free. Everybody is free. Unravel the old clothes one thread at a time.
Thread at a time.
Start from your corner and
I'll start from mine.
with every step untied we make
Hope
hope alive. No matter
alive.
how
Small we think we all are. We gotta keep trying.
no matter how
Small we think we all are. We gotta keep trying.
because nobody is free until everybody is free. Nobody is free until everybody is free. Everybody is free. We'll weave a new cloth one thread at a time.
Thread at a time.
Make of their love our
Fully entwined.
Our future is waiting. Let's
Make it
The
alive.
people's
Power will topple their towers because we kept trying.
The people's
Power will topple their towers because we kept trying. Because
nobody is free until everybody is free. Nobody is free until everybody is free. Everybody is free.
bend the arc towards justice, be courageous, not cautious, raise the people over profits, human rights before economics. Bend the arc towards justice, be courageous, not cautious, raise the people over profits, human rights before economics. Bend the arc towards justice, be courageous, not cautious, raise the people over profits, human rights before economics. Bend the arc towards justice, be courageous, not cautious, raise the people over profits, human rights before economics. Fight pharaohs and passions because nobody is free until everybody is free. Nobody is free until everybody is free. Nobody is free until everybody is free. Last time, everyone.
Nobody is free until everybody is free. Everybody is free.
Thank you, Spirit Band. I love it when we do originals, eh? Right? Well, you're welcome, Suzanne. And now let's continue in sacred space. Our mission here at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of the world. Our theme for the month of February is our 8th UU principle. We affirm and promote individual and communal action that accountably dismantles racism and systemic barriers to full inclusion in ourselves and in our institutions. Today, our service will be focused on writing our next chapter. And in writing our next chapter, as Sally mentioned earlier, today we'll be launching our 2026 pledge campaign. So as service weavers, we try to tie services together by connecting the focus of the service and the theme of the month. And at first this was a real head scratcher for me. Like, how was I going to connect making financial pledges to accountably dismantling racism? And as weavers, we always try to share a little bit of our own personal story, just to add a bit of variety and to make it interesting. Well, in this case, I don't think my story is any different from many of yours. For me, to continue to actively do my part in dismantling racism, I need to stay informed. That used to be a lot easier when I was in university. And yes, I'm aware that that I am privileged enough that I was able to go to school. I could afford it. And while neighborhood isn't school, it does provide many opportunities for us to learn and unlearn. For me, this community holds my feet to the fire to not only take action when I can, but also to check in with myself about my personal connections to systemic racism and oppression. Kofi Hope reminded us last week that that we didn't just lose the momentum and enthusiasm after what he called the 2020 George Floyd moment, but that an anti-DEI reaction and movement has really taken a strong hold these days. Neighborhood reminds me that I have a voice and that I need to use it, not only to call out, but also to invite in. So at this time of the year, we're asked to evaluate our finances, our checks and balances, and what I call our give and gets. Now, after my income took the hits that it did, and the cost of living being what it was, I decided to focus the majority of my charitable giving to neighborhood. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you should do. That's just me. And I do that not just because I receive a lot from this congregation, but I also realize that it's also for my love of this congregation, the people that come through the doors and all that it gives me. So yeah, it's a little bit self-serving. I'll admit that. I want the doors to stay open, and I want to keep all of the programs, and I want to keep all of our amazing staff. And I also want to keep learning so that I can live my values, whether that's about anti-racism or simply about love. So I'll take time to honestly determine what I can afford, because I know that my contribution is worth every penny. I guess that's what St. Francis of Assisi meant when he said, "For it is in giving that we receive." For today's reading, I am sharing the first principle of the BLUU, Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism. Thank you, Suzanne, for introducing me to them. As the name suggests, this is an organization of Black UUs founded in July 2015 in Cleveland, Ohio. That September, they wrote their own 7 principles based on our traditional 7 principles. So now I say 7 principles because that was 2015, so that was before we started with our 8th principle. And so for the reading today, I'm going to recite their first principle. All Black lives matter. Queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly incarcerated Black lives, differently abled Black lives, Black women's lives, immigrant Black lives, Black and elderly and children's lives. All Black lives matter and are creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. The movement for Black lives calls on the Unitarian Universalist faith, a faith willing to make the bold proclamation that each person inherently matters, to live up to that claim, to work towards a future in which Black lives, are truly valued in society. We call on UUs to actively resist notions that Black lives only matter if conforming to white middle-class norms, and to challenge assumptions of worth centered around clothing, diction, education, or other status. Our value is not conditional. Over to Spirit Band.
We're going to sing together, everyone. You're welcome to rise, embody your spirit as you're willing and able. I was researching this song that comes from our hymnal, Come and Go With Me to That Land, and there's some mixed ideas about its origin, whether it was a song, a spiritual from the 19th century, not sure, or if it was a song written by blues artists in the early 20th century. Maybe it was passed on, maybe not. We're not exactly sure. But the first lyrics for the song were all about heaven and Jesus. Come and go with me to that land where Jesus is. And it was adapted during the Civil Rights Movement, as many Black church songs were, for singing in the streets. And that's the version that we are going to sing today. And as I was listening to many, many versions of the song, which is fun to hear all the different types of interpretations, a lot of them had two voices doing call and response with each other. And I thought it would be fun to do that together today. So Luann's going to do the call, the come and go with me, with, can you go over with this, the center aisle and to the side? The come and go with me, and we're going to respond with me on the side, to that land. Come and go with me, to that land. Come and go with me, to that land, where I'm bound, where I'm bound. And we'll sing back and forth, and if you don't know it, you're going to learn it so fast.
Come go with me to that land. Come go with me
To that land,
Come go with me
to that land,
where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
Come go with me.
To that land,
Come go with me.
to that land,
Come go with me
to that land,
where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
In that land, freedom.
In that land,
There'll be freedom.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
There'll be freedom.
In that land,
There'll be freedom.
in that land,
There'll be freedom.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
There'll be
In that land,
There'll be justice.
in that land,
There'll be justice.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
There'll be justice.
In that land,
There'll be justice.
in that land,
There'll be justice.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
They'll be singing.
In that land,
They'll be singing.
in that land,
They'll be singing.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
They'll be singing.
In that land,
They'll be singing.
in that land,
They'll be singing.
in that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
Come go with me.
To that land,
Come go with me.
to that land,
Come go with me.
to that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
Come go with me.
To that land,
Come go with me.
to that land,
Come go with me.
to that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
With me.
To that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound.
Come on, go with me.
To that land,
Where I'm bound.
where I'm bound. Yeah, harmonies.
Beautiful. So today's service is called Our Next Chapter, and it's all about how we write our story together as a community. So for our Time for All Ages, we're going to play one of my favorite writing games. Has anyone ever done Mad Libs before? So to do a Mad Lib, players get to suggest some words, as silly or as serious as they want, without knowing where in the story those words are going to appear. So at the end, we'll get to hear our story complete with the words that we've chosen together. And I think we have a list of words we're looking for, and I'm actually going to give first dibs to any young people who want to offer words for this. So grown-ups, you're allowed to participate. Okay. But first we're going to see if we have anyone at the activity table. Oh, a number, Brody.
602.
All right, he was ready. How about a noun beginning with C? So a noun it could be a name, it's a person, it's a place, it's a thing. Does anyone have a noun that begins with the letter C?
Cumberbund.
We have cumberbund. Cumberbund. Okay. All right. How about a verb, an action word? What's something you do? I'm pausing. I'm looking. I'll come back to you, Brody. But what about Delphine? Do you have an action word? Something you do?
Chase.
Is that a dance? Okay. Dance. And another noun. Do we have a noun from the activity table? Yeah. Toronto. Yeah, this story is going to make total sense. All right. Grown-ups, can you give me a noun? Aardvark. A fun spelling challenge, too. Another verb, an action word. Run. An adjective, so this is a new word. An adjective is a descriptive word, so like big or small or stinky or slimy. Wait, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna let anyone from this section. We have some whispers, some consulting. Slimy. All right, a plural noun. That's more than one thing or person or place. Cockroaches. I'm doing cockroaches. Another number.
7.
7. Okay. We'll think hard. The last one is a verb. It's our last action word.
Unifying.
To unify, that's an action word, yeah. All right. Are we ready to hear our story, everyone? Okay. Once upon a time, 602 years ago, the neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Cumberbund was founded. And its mission was to dance spiritual Toronto and shared action for the care of our aardvark. Today, NUUC continues to run toward a better world and nurture a slimy community for people of many different backgrounds, beliefs, and cockroaches. In the next 5, 10, or 7 years, who knows what neighborhood will achieve? It's up to us to unify the next chapter. The end. Thank you all so much for your help writing and unifying our story together. And now our kids are invited to join Kat and Kim in the Rainbow Room if they want to take part in learning and playing in there. So once upon a time, not 602 years ago, but in the long ago year of 2000, a Unitarian Universalist congregation was founded. Neighborhood was founded at a time when, like now, social trends showed organized religious communities were dwindling and blinking out of existence. But defying the odds, along came a group of deeply committed UUs willing to build something new and offer it to those who needed a spiritual home, a place to grow and connect and work together for the care of our world and the care of our aardvark. And they did it. You did it. Founding a new community is no small feat. And they grew in numbers, welcoming new families, raising funds to buy a building to call our own, even installing solar panels on that building to provide clean power, which then ended up serving as a role model to several other faith communities in the Greater Toronto Area looking to make similar green commitments. Of course, those early chapters of Neighborhood Story weren't all solar shine and roses, so to speak. There were ups and downs and hard years. The congregation sold part of the building property to cover budget shortfalls. The minister took on another mortgage. Membership numbers rose and fell and rose again. And the COVID lockdown hit hard. Just as the congregation was getting ready to move into a new space here at the Danforth Multi-Faith Commons, everything shut down. Our founding minister then retired, and the congregation took on the monumental task of searching for a new minister while also finding the way back to in-person community in a world changed by global pandemic. There are a lot of unsung heroes in the pages of Neighborhood Story, especially over these past few years, holding everything together, holding on tight through all the twists and turns. And now here we are in 2026, in some ways safely delivered to this beautiful space here in Rafos Hall that is continually beautified and maintained by many hands, with newcomers finding their way through our doors every Sunday, membership growing, connections re-knitting, and a minister who plans to stick around for the long haul. So we can take a breath, take a literal breath, look around at one another. You did this. In many ways, you made it. And now, with some solid ground beneath our feet, we can begin to look to the future and ask, what's next for us? The next chapter of this story is beginning, and it's up to all of us to write it together. It really is up to us, too. That's one of my favorite things about Unitarian Universalism. Each congregation is an independent entity, a collection of equals. Each member has a vote, and each congregation can make its own decisions about its practices, its values. Even our 8 principles that we talk about, we have them in common with the Canadian Unitarian Council, but we don't have to. We as a congregation could vote to adopt any principles that we wanted to. And in fact, that has happened. We voted to adopt the 8th principle before it officially was adopted by the CUC. And partly individual congregations voting to incorporate anti-racism and anti-oppression into their foundational commitments was what helped build the momentum needed to make that official on a national level. And I know I might sometimes look like I'm an authority up here because I'm talking in a microphone and standing behind a pulpit, but even ministers are voted on by the members of our congregations. Sometime next year, there will be a congregational vote on whether to call me as your long-term minister. This spring, we'll vote to elect board members. We just had a budget meeting during which all the members of the congregation can look at the budget in detail, vote on the plan that the board has proposed. And if you were part of that meeting and that vote, thank you. We are planning for our financial future, and we need your questions about which budget line covers the purchase of paint, or why it costs so much to repair the sliding glass wall behind you. We need your input and your buy-in, because it is a collective project to consider how our dollars line up with our values, right? A budget is a moral document. They are our dollars. There's no Vatican or higher church structure that supports our congregations financially. Everything we want to do in the world, we, the members and friends here, fund. We want this beautiful space to gather in, We pay $10,000 a month for rent. Those watching at home, we want to continue to maintain a Zoom account and keep this connection over the distance. We want an incredible music program. We want to be able to welcome young families and kids. It means funding, staffing, and programming. We want to be involved in meaningful reparation and reconciliation with Indigenous communities. We want to be a force for justice in the world. We want to reach out to those seeking spiritual community, those who have never heard of Unitarian Universalism. It's the members and friends of this congregation who make all of that possible. There is no one supporting us in this but ourselves. And that's why we do fundraisers and pass the basket. It's why we have an annual pledge campaign at all, asking our members and friends to reconfirm a shared commitment to keeping this place going and keeping it growing. There's no set membership fee to join Neighborhood. We want our doors to be open to all, no matter financial status. A pledge is not a tithe, a required percentage. It is something someone chooses based on their own ability and comfort. No one checks up on that number. In honor of your connection to this community, it is a gesture from the heart. And today marks the official kickoff of this year's pledge campaign, so you're going to be seeing messaging in your newsletter in the next several Sundays, encouraging everyone to fill out those pledge forms. And I don't want to assume that everyone already knows what that means or how that works, what it is, right? A pledge form isn't a donation in itself. It's not a legally binding promise. It's just a piece of paper containing your best guess as to what you'll be able to contribute to Neighborhood financially over the course of the year. On the one hand, this is a simple administrative tool. It lets us plan ahead and make responsible decisions rather than waiting to see what appears in our bank account every month before we're able to do any budgeted spending. On the other hand, it's also a symbolic gesture. It's an invitation to make real our intention to stick with Neighborhood, to support what we're trying to build together this year. And I feel it's important to acknowledge that no one wants to feel manipulated or taken advantage of when they come to their spiritual community. When religion and money mix, so often manipulation feels dangerously close at hand. We have all seen examples of religious communities that ask too much of members already stretched thin, religious leaders using collections to fund their own lavish lifestyles, or spiritual communities making impossible promises in exchange for believers' cash. It's not wrong to take care, to have mixed feelings or wariness around the relationship of money and religion. So however it makes you feel to have us talking about money so directly on a Sunday morning, that feeling is valid. You don't need to push that down. Please know that there is no intent to pressure or manipulate you into giving anything beyond what you feel good about. My hope is that when it comes to money, we can be frank and direct and just human with one another. When you become a member here, you agree to support Neighborhood with your time, your resources, your commitments, usually meaning financial or volunteer hours, but we are all human beings first, and we want you here. Not everyone has money to give or hours to spare, and it is vital that you hear from up here as often as possible that you are wanted here. If you are in a season when you do not have resources or energy to give, know that those who do have the money, who do have the energy, the time, will give more of themselves so that you can be welcomed with open arms, without shame or hesitation. Part of the whole point of giving of ourselves is to create a community like this one where our neighbors and friends can take what they need and take time to gather their strength, knowing that the seasons may change and any one of us may need a generous community to carry us at some point ourselves. With this in mind, the goal of this year's pledge campaign is not a dollar amount, but a participation goal. We want to see 100% of our members' households fill out a pledge form. And at the bottom of every form is the question, what would you like to see in Neighborhood's next chapter? So even if the dollar amount you put in is zero, we still want your participation, your contribution to what this next chapter will be. Starting today, you can fill out and turn in your pledge form anytime. On Sundays, you can drop them at the pledge table in our cappuccino room where our fundraising coordinator, Lillian, will be. You can also bring your form into the office or fill one out online. The details of your pledge will always be kept confidential, but you can proudly wear an I pledged sticker to show off to all your friends and add your name to the tracker we'll be using to track our progress toward our goal of 100% participation. And starting next week, we're going to take the names of everyone who's turned in their form already and draw one to win a prize, a book of meditations from the UUA bookstore. Ours is an ongoing story, and it is your commitment and generosity that have gotten us this far in the first place, right? You can do this. You have done it already. Each of us is here and online because we entered into this story at a different chapter. Maybe this is your very first Sunday here, in which case, welcome. It's kind of a weird Sunday to have it be your first Sunday, but also, there is no normal Sunday. Every Sunday is different, and maybe you've been here since the very beginning. Wherever your chapter of Neighborhood Story began, ask yourself, what did you find when you first found Neighborhood? What did you find when you first arrived here? A community, a new faith, a calling, a place to learn, to be challenged, a place to rest. Whatever it is that we each found, it was made possible by those who were here before us and alongside us. And from the moment when you arrived, you became part of what the next person would find when they first crack open the book and begin their part of the story. You keep it going with your presence. If we want a place like this to exist, it's us who will make it happen. And I want a place like this to exist. The world is full of challenges. The future is full of uncertainty. But whatever the next 5 or 10 or 100 years or 7 years bring, I want it to include the presence of a welcoming, liberatory, truth-seeking community. I want everyone who needs this place to be able to find it here. I want our work towards the commitments of the 8th principle to continue. I want us to have a community that holds us and challenges us and keeps us learning and helps us be the version of ourselves that the world needs. It's up to us to decide what our future, what Neighborhood's future will look like. It's both our free choice and our responsibility. We can dream as big as we like about what we'll be able to do in the world and who we will be, what transformations we will make possible. And we can find the time and money and resources that will make those dreams happen. Our next chapter is beginning, and I am so glad that we are all going to be writing it together. Blessed be, and many thanks.
We're going to do a recap of the song that we opened the service with, now that you're all here and ready to sing with us. This is just the chorus of a song by American folk musician Reggie Harris. And we're going to sing it as a call and response. I invite you to rise to sing with us. I'm going to do the call, and then you'll just echo the call with Luann as the response for the song.
In the shelter
Of each other, in the shelter
in the shelter
of our lives.
shelter of our lives, of our lives. We are open, we are open,
We are dreaming.
we are dreaming,
We are hopeful.
we are hopeful,
We are wise. Let's go one more time.
wise.
In the shelter
In the shelter
of each other.
of each other,
In the shelter
in the shelter
of our lives.
of our lives.
We are open.
We are open,
We are dreaming.
we are dreaming,
We are hopeful.
we are hopeful,
We are wise.
we are wise.
How about one more time? In the shelter
In the shelter
of each other.
of each other,
In the shelter
in the shelter
of our lives.
of our lives.
We are open.
We are open,
We are dreaming.
we are dreaming,
We are hopeful.
we are
Wrap it up.
hopeful,
We are wise.
we are wise.
So partly why we're building our pledge campaign on the theme of our next chapter is to honor the many avid readers and writers here in our congregation. And since our next chapter really will be written together with everyone contributing not just a pledge, but your creativity, your voice, and your vision for what our next chapter will contain, we wanted to make sure to include something that invites you into a little bit of written meditation today. So we're going to have one of my favorite poetic writing games briefly played. You have an index card, and you should have a pen in the seat in front of you. We also have extra pens, extra pens. And if you're online, you might grab a writing utensil and some paper wherever you are. Or if you're on Zoom, you can type directly in the chat, but we won't be able to read it here in the sanctuary. So that's to share it with your fellow viewers on Zoom today. So the first step of this writing game is to quickly write down a list of 5 objects in the room with you. Could be something you're touching, something you can see, something you can hear. Just 5 objects you can observe with your senses. And don't overthink it. If you have 5 or close to 5, then we're ready to move on to part 2, which is a writing prompt. Your writing prompt is to finish the sentence, "In our next chapter, neighborhood will be like," with one of your objects that you just listed. Choose one of your objects and say why neighborhood will be like that object in our next chapter. You can explain in writing. For example, in our next chapter, neighborhood will be like a microphone. It will amplify voices that might otherwise not be heard. It will be held by many hands. It will be filled with music. It will sometimes have painful feedback that prompts us to move or adjust. And when neighborhood finds itself low on power, it will need to rest and recharge its batteries. Make sense? That choose one object and finish the sentence. In our next chapter, neighborhood will be like, and we'll take about 3 minutes to write to this prompt. We have some on Zoom as well. Neighborhood's next chapter will be a comfy couch, a welcome place for all voices and choices. Our next chapter will be like crayons, full of color, rubbing on the world. This is a handwriting reading challenge. Our next chapter, neighborhood, will be like coffee. It will help us wake up and focus. It will be bitter, but we can add sugar. It will be an acquired taste. Once we start showing up regularly, we'll feel like we can't live without it. In our next chapter, NUUC will be like light. We will offer warmth, hope, and growth. People will see us and rest with us because they view NUUC as a beacon that centers and inspires them. Neighborhood in our next chapter will be like a painting, make us feel, think, connect, full of color and variety, open to interpretation, full of skill, choices, and passion, best viewed in the light, intriguing in the shadows, still there in the dark. We have some poets. I'm doing my very best handwriting reading. In our next chapter, neighborhood will be like a ukulele, perfect for beginners, easy to pick up, but touchy to tune, easy to play, a lifetime to master, a source of beauty and inspiration. Beautiful. I'll end on our ukulele future together. And all of these will be going over to the pledge table for everyone to page through. We'll display them, and we'll be taking some photos of them and displaying them in our newsletter in the weeks to come. So you'll get a chance to read all the beautiful poetry that is going into our next chapter together as a community. And we know that whatever comes next in our story, we are going to be writing it together. It's going to be full of color and music and mystery and warmth and light. So thank you very much for your words and for your commitments.
Over the next 6 weeks, during our pledge campaign, let's just say, we've decided that we're going to light the UU candle that we traditionally light in a way of honoring our congregation with a little bit of history, of neighborhood's history. So to kick this off, I'd like to light a candle for the wonderful ministers connected to neighborhood over the years. Go ahead and light that. It'll be one for all of these ministers. Our congregation's roots trace back to a dedicated group of Unitarians who began gathering in Toronto's East End in the 1990s. This group included Wayne Walder, who later became neighborhood's minister, worked tirelessly to establish the congregation officially, receiving approval from the CUC, or the Canadian Unitarian Council, and the American Unitarian Association in 1997. Reverend Wayne Walter's formal installation at neighborhood's minister occurred in 2009, following his ordination in 1998. In our relatively short existence, 2 ministerial interns have been mentored, and 4 congregants have become ordained UU ministers, starting with the Reverend Lynn Harrison in 2015, The late Reverend Rodrigo Emilio Solano Kisnell, ordained in 2016. The late Reverend Patricia Trudeau, who was ordained in 2019, and also served as our pastoral care minister 2022-23, and then as our contract minister in 2023-24. Another congregant who became a UU minister, the Reverend Ben Robbins, ordained in 2020. And last, but absolutely, definitely not least, in September of 2024, Reverend Sally Fritshe became our minister on a contract to call basis. Okay, I left room for everybody to applaud. And Allison has already lit that candle of gratitude for them all and in the ways that they've touched our lives. And we light the final candle for all of the joys and concerns that are unspoken yet burn in our hearts.
Invite everyone to please sing with us. And if you feel like rising, then please do. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain, and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks. For all that is our life, for all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Well, this is the time of the year that we're going to be making our pledges. We're going to start thinking about it. It's also the time in our services where you can conclude last year's pledge or donation. Or different ways that you'll be able to do this, whatever your conscience is whispering to you. So remember all of that stuff that I said at the beginning in my opening words about giving. So let's just say cut and paste. If you already contribute through pre-authorized withdrawals, thank you. Greeters will pass the baskets for those who choose to give in that way, or you can scan the QR code on the screen. And as always, thank you for your generosity. You know, Sally asked us what we've found here. And if you have found love and acceptance, if you have found home here, if you've known kindred spirits here, Let this offering be a token of our gratitude for our common life as we build the common good. Greeters, when the donations have been collected, please pass them to me.
All right, as the baskets get passed, allow me to briefly share some of the life of this community. Today, after the service, there's a new member info session that is actually open to everyone. So even if you're a longtime member, if you're a first-time visitor, there's going to be a UU history lesson from me, followed by a building tour led by Pino, who knows all the secret nooks and crannies. He knows where the secret basement bowling alley is in this building. So if you want to learn more about our UU history or about this building we're in, please stick around and be part of that. This Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Zoom, there will be a virtual tour of the Mohawk Institute Indian Residential School, facilitated by a cultural interpreter. This is part of our Indigenous Reconciliation Working Group's work here at Neighborhood. This Thursday, the Healthy Congregation Committee is offering Turning Over Stones, a listening circle. And this is a space not for settling disputes or making complaints. There are already channels for that type of problem solving. If you want to bring those things up, please do. But this circle is more intended for hurts that don't have obvious solutions, either because they happened too long ago, the people involved aren't part of the community anymore, or you actually have solved the problem and fixed things, but those hard feelings are still lingering. This circle is for turning those stones over, getting those feelings out in the open, and reminding each other we can talk about it. There will be chili, vegetarian chili at 6:30, and the circle at 7. There's going to be circle music next Sunday at 2 p.m. Everyone's invited to join. No experience, no skill level required. You are welcome to be part of the music. Also coming up, we have Conversations for Such a Time as This. This is being offered by Eastminster United, our neighbor congregation, and inviting a multi-faith community to talk about what it is we are each called to do as faith communities in the current moment in the world as it exists now. Coming up later this month, free theater games for the apocalypse. February 28th, this is a good community building event being offered by a member of the congregation, Nathan Bragg. Next Sunday service, simmering summer service ideas. I made that slide and then forgot about it. We have a couple of open Sundays coming up this summer, and this is a chance, if you have an idea that you have been waiting to bring to the pulpit here, a service that you've been envisioning that you would love to lead, talk to me about it, and we can see if we can get you up here in the pulpit over the summer. Next Sunday, I will be leading the service, Who Keeps Us Safe? It's about the 8th principle and our relationship with policing, featuring the Samudna Protest Choir as our guest musicians. Remember to always watch your newsletter on Fridays. There's always a lot going on here and a lot more than we can cover on Sunday mornings. And thank you very much for being part of this community. We'll have our closing song from the Spirit Band.
And again, you're welcome to rise in body and spirit. The song came from the new UU hymnal, Sing Out Love. We've done it a few times. It really captures what it means to be in community.
This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab an oar. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. We all know hardship, we all know pain, but nothing ventured means nothing gained. Every rainbow
if you're sinking like a stone, now we'll carry you home. Boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab it on. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. In this boat, there's nothing we can do together, no matter the weather, no matter that the charts aren't past, we will navigate by our stars. This boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab it on. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Boat is steady, this boat is sure. When you're ready, climb aboard. When you're ready, grab it on. This boat will carry us to the farthest shore. Boat will carry us to the farthest shore.
And I'd like to call Lillian up to extinguish our chalice as we all sing together. Our chalice has been broken. And as is our tradition here at Neighborhood, let's join hands or touch elbows, connect somehow physically as we have spiritually, as Rev Sally gives our closing blessing and reopens our sacred circle.
Thank you. I am so grateful to be here in this circle as we go out into the world today. May we know that here is a space that will be a light, a space that will be a warm cup of coffee, a space that will be a musical ukulele, a space that will be a microphone to the voices that need to be heard. As we go back out to our lives, may we know that we have a home we can return to here, and we will build it together. Blessed be, and go in peace.
I know, but we were just like...